How did you feel when they turned the conversation because of Target and Caroline, your CEO's past involvement with Target? They turned it into a Black American versus Black African conversation, and that whole thing exploded. Of like, Essence is losing its focus on Black Americans.
I mean, those are one of the. I mean, I'd love to hear how you guys think about that, but that's one of those ones that I struggle with understanding intellectually, right? For a host of reasons. Let's just talk about the actual facts, right? So we had, 40 plus acts and performers, right? We had one Jamaican act, performer Buju, and we had one African performer, Davido. Right? That to me doesn't say that we're losing our center. Right, we remain extremely centered on African American culture, right, and on Black women. That's our center. That doesn't mean we can't expand out from our center. All it means is we can't lose our center. So if you were on the ground, if you were there, you see that center is very much there, right? You go into the convention center, right? You look at what happened on the stages. You look at what happened. If you were there, you know that we're still centered, right? But if you were there, you also know that we're growing and that we're broadening, because everybody has to grow or broaden. Otherwise, you won't be around, right? There's also sort of the philosophical approaches to this is I view myself as Black. I've benefited from being Black, and I have also lost from being Black. When I walk in the room, what people see, if they don't know me, when I walk in a room, I walk down the street, they see a Black man, right? My entire life has been dedicated to uplifting Black. I've focused it on the economics, on the economic side of Black, because that's what I know how to do. That's what I'm skilled at. The thing that I've learned from that is we're much better off when we're focused on our commonalities and we're building on those commonalities. As I said earlier, I grew up, King, Garvey, Lumumba, right? That the thinking around, hey, we have a much better chance of developing and growing our communities when we find the commonalities and the alignments, and we're working towards shared goals and shared objectives. When we don't do that, we become much smaller, right? And much more volatile and much more vulnerable.
I can't even believe you took the time to explain that. If
some people,
Buju Banton, and DeVito are walking down the street and a white supremacist see us, guess what he see?
Black
niggas.
That's it.
What are we talking about here?
Do you feel like, though, with criticisms like that and like, just some of the stuff that you would feel like we're not going to, because y'all took ownership for a lot of things even before the articles hit, right? The things that you're like, this is nonsense, we're not going to take ownership for that. Do you ever feel like it's kind of like unfair? Are you ever hurt by it? Because you do so much centered in Black people, regardless of where they come from.
Yeah. I don't have the luxury of being hurt by it.
We are so hard on each other, man. I haven't heard Essence be talked about this much in years, at least Essence.
In probably decades.
You know what I'm saying? But now everybody's talking about it so much because we got so much negative things to say. And like you said, some criticism is valid.
Some is valid. Not all of it.
That's right.
Right? And the levels of criticism is definitely not warranted. Right? I will tell you that. Right? But if we hurt Miss Mills,
Stephanie Mills, got to make that right.
That's what we're here for.
You hurt Lauryn Hill, you got to make that right.
Got to make that
But those
right.
are actual valid issues. Like that letter, she has actual valid issues.
Valid issues.
Y'all got too much Africans. It's not a valid criticism.
No.
Child, they arguing like crazy. But I like the way that
too much Africans here.
I like the way that you guys responded to things because it curved the headlines. Like the headlines about Lauryn Hill had to include, festival says it's not her fault. Here's exactly what happened. A lot of most festivals don't do that because she said that this has happened to her before.
No, but this isn't most festivals. This
Right.
is Essence. We're accountable to our community and to those Black women that we're here to serve and protect. And when we get it wrong, we're going to say it, right? Caroline, you just brought up Caroline. Caroline Wanga had nothing to do with this.
I was going to bring
Let's
that
leave
up.
her out of it.
I saw people blaming her, but I was told she's not even really
She's been
part
on
of the
leave,
team.
right?
She's on leave.
Yeah.
She's on leave.
Okay.
She go buy her book, guys.
Mm-hmm.
She just dropped a phenomenal book.
Mm-hmm.
She's been an incredible leader for Essence, and we're grateful.
Is she still in the CEO seat?
She's still in the CEO seat,
Okay.
but she's on leave.
Got you.
Yeah.
Why was it so quick? Why was people so quick to blame her when she had nothing to do with this year's festival?
I mean, look,
just because she's just
I don't know.
editor in chief.
We live in a world. We live in a world now where it's easy to do that,
Absolutely.
right? And so people do that, and you can shy away from it, right? Or you can face it head on. I choose to face it head on because I think people get an opportunity to learn from my mistakes. They learn from my team's mistakes. My team gets to learn from their mistakes. And the greatest blessing is to be in a position where you're allowed to make mistakes. That's the greatest blessing because if you're not allowed to make mistakes, you shrink.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Right? You don't try things. You're stuck in one thing, and that's the only place you can be. For our community to grow, we've got to be able to afford to make mistakes, right? But the other thing is, we've also got to be able. The thing that I'll notice, that I'll say now as I've gotten on in years, is my community no longer has the grace it once had for each other.
Not at all.
Right? We go on these platforms. And
Did we ever? Did we ever? I don't know if we ever.
No,
did.
we
Some
maybe
people
You
we.
hosted him, so I don't know.
I'm yeah. In my day,
Okay.
yes, there was grace. You know, if something went wrong, somebody pulled you aside and said, "Hey, you know, this is going wrong." If your kid did something wrong, they're like, "Hey,"
And it was grace.
your kid.
2000s, there was
Like the
grace.
community
I think
that
when
we
the social
people have,
media
like, it
started,
takes a
that's when
tribe
grace
vibe.
started. It was grace, yeah, absolutely.
But we've got to
Definitely
bring that back, right? It's like if we run away from these things, it doesn't come back.
Right.
If our kids grow up and don't see, they think that this is the way it should be. So, did we get some things wrong? Absolutely. But I think if you measure us against any festival that happened this year, I think we rise to the top, right? I don't know of one festival that happened this year that didn't have some sort of production issue. All right? Ours is amplified because people care, right? Ours is amplified because our community is under a lot of pressure. Ours is amplified because we have a boycott going on. Ours is amplified for a whole host of reasons. That doesn't mean that we run away from it, right? It means that we got to talk about it.
Absolutely.